Welcome to Custom Homebuilders Solutions, a web-based software, also known as CHS, a standalone accounting suite focused on job costing and profit management for professional home builders.
Hello again, this is Carol King, the developer of Custom Homebuilders Solutions, also known as CHS. This is a continuation of some videos about setting up vendors, and over here under vendors and setup, like in a previous video about setting up vendors, we clicked what are vendors. And in here I was talking about they are entities that you will be paying either by check, credit card, or bank debits. And I'm going to do this short video to show you about setting up some generic vendors like gas or restaurants to handle posting bank debits or credit card charges. So let's get on with that. Click OK. I'm going to go to the vendors list and setup and show you a couple of vendors that we have set up that I call generic vendors. Let's do a G up here to look just for G's. And notice that we have a vendor titled gas. You don't want to junk up your whole entire vendors list with a whole bunch of like Exxon, Shell, Chevron, whatever various ones. If you're just going to be posting like say things you used your debit card for at the bank and you did different gas places, or that you had a bunch of credit card charges. So when we just set up one called gas to post those charges to, and we're entering the payable stuff about those, and you'll see that in just a second. But the main thing is that we just called it gas. It doesn't really matter about the address because it's going to be all kinds of gas stations. But we set up a default to drop in when we're entering those bank debits or credit card charges to be vehicle expenses. Now you may have something called fuel. You may even call this vendor fuel. It's up to you. I'm just talking about a generic vendor so that you don't set up a whole bunch of gas stations in your vendors list. But we chose to use, and you could ask your accountant, 8750 vehicle expenses. And we were leaving it in the overhead department, and we're not putting a cost code on it for like job costs, etc. We're just leaving the zero cost code. And we did go ahead and put a default description for payables bills called gas hyphen. And then we put a note here, use this vendor for debit card or credit card charges at gas stations. So you can see how that will save you from setting up a bunch of gas stations. And then we have another one that is called restaurant. Just take a glance at that real quickly. And our default GL number for that was travel expense. So it's for restaurants we're expecting to go to travel. You don't have to when you enter a bill for a restaurant. You might put it to something else, entertainment expense, things like that, and overwrite this default. You can put whatever default GL you like. You could also consider, one that we do set up, dealing with credit cards. When you post credit card charges, I'm going to go right here, and we're going to look at one that I called credit card fees. So maybe you get some interest on your credit card statement when you get it and you're trying to figure out where to post it, because when you get your credit card statement, or as you get little slips for the credit cards, let's say one of your credit card charges is from the lumber company like ProBuild or something, you will actually post that charge to ProBuild, and then you will mark it as paid by credit card and choose the credit card vendor that you will set up. Now watch all the credit card videos to understand more about this. But then people wonder, if they set up a credit card like Discover, it will only work as a credit card, not where you can post charges. So we set up one called credit card fees. So if on the bank statement there's some interest or some little fee that they charge for annual membership and stuff, that we put to just a generic vendor called credit card fees, and we'll post things like that to this vendor and then post it as paid by the credit card like Discover or something. And on our chart of accounts we have something called credit card interest and fees, so we put that as the generic, as the general ledger account number. So I just wanted to point that out and then demonstrate real quickly posting one of those credit card charges. Whoops, I had that open. So you would post everything on your credit card bill or your list of debits from the bank to the payables window. And let's say we have some gas charges. And so we're just doing not a job cost bill, but a quick bill. So I could put the date of the charge from the statement, say it was whatever this date is. And then quite often, since there's not an invoice number, I actually use the date of the credit card statement. Let's say it's a credit card statement. Say it was this date. I use that for the invoice number. And so we might have bought gas at, I don't know, Exxon in Austin. And I strongly recommend that you put that description in, because when you're looking at credit card ledgers, it'll help you identify it. Also, if you look at a general ledger printout of the vehicle expenses, you can see where that was and when it was. And then you have some charge here for your gas. But the thing is, you can keep copying it, go through your whole credit card statement, find all the ones for gas, and just start changing. You know, maybe this was Shell in Georgetown, Texas or something, who knows. And look at the date that they have on the statement for that. Maybe that happened on the 4th. And it was some other amount, that kind of thing. And you could keep copying that. And then when you submit it and you decide to post it, maybe as paid by credit card, or if it's a bank debit, you'd post payment and then select the checking account that it came out of and give it a check number like 1 and period and 6 digits for the date of the statement, or the date that you paid these various things, and post them as paid. Quite often it'll be from a credit card, so you might be post as paid by credit card, but either way. So I will choose Amex, that we paid it by. We're looking at an Amex statement, and I'll submit that. And if you could look at the entries, you'll see that both of those entries were posted marked as credit card. And again, watch the credit card payables videos for more detail about this. If I go back to the home main menu and I collapse all, you'll see that we have credit card ledgers going on right here that are tracking everything posted to the credit card. And if I put Amex in and I continue, if we slide down our latest entries, you'll see gas, Exxon, gas, Shell, Georgetown, Texas, etc. So it makes it handier for knowing what those charges are for and what you paid for, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to point out, I don't want to get into too much detail about all of this, but I wanted to point out that if you're posting credit card charges or debits on your bank account, all of them would get posted here. Now let's say you get service charges from your bank account. You might set up something called bank service charges, like I set up for credit card fees, like I was posting the fees from the credit card statement. But we set up Bank of America, actually, because it's where this builder's banking or something. And you do a quick bill. So you would set up the bank to post those service charges that are on the checking account, but look how much dropped in. Our GL number, because that's from setting up the vendor, dropped in for bank service charges, a description of Bank of America service charge, and I probably put in something like $3 or $5, and then I just post it as paid, not as something that's to be paid later. And that's how you post various little debits like that aren't for checks. We'll see more of that in the payables section. But I just thought that would help you with a little tip about setting up generic vendors. So, all right, have a great day, whatever day it is when you're watching this.